Okay, we are recording. All right. So I have to ask you, who are you? What is your name?
My name is Laiika Sledge Runner.
What is your race?
I'm human.
Your age?
I'm 22.
You're 22. All right. How tall are you? What is your height?
Well, I'm about 6 feet tall.
That is so tall. I am also very tall.
For
What
a
is
human,
your
it's pretty tall, but Mr. Dirt, you're quite a bit taller than I am. So
Oh, yeah, it's just you only think that because I'm sitting down. I have a long torso. Anyway, what is your hair color?
it's sort of a sandy gold color.
Yeah, I would say sandy gold for sure. Are there any other physical descriptors you find important about yourself that you would like to share?
Poncho.
You do have a poncho. It's a very nice poncho.
I
Is
do.
there
I
a
like to
story behind it?
There's not too much of a story behind it. I've just had it for a really long time. My aunt made it for me when I was little, and she told me it was really big when I was little, and she told me I'd grow into it, and I did.
You most certainly did. That is wonderful. What was your occupation, Leica?
Well, I worked on a caribou farm, or reindeer, as they're often called in other places, and worked, herding, harvesting for sort of standard, for that area.
That's amazing.
It,
What
it's
was
really not that. It's really not that cool. It's just sort of like what people do to like live.
Oh, well, I mean, I've never seen a reindeer or a caribou. Uh, so, I've only read about them. So, to me, it is pretty incredible.
I mean, they're pretty standard for like ungulates, but they have a lot of personality, which is really nice, and they're really reliable and sturdy too. There's not much that can really hurt a caribou, except for what can hurt a caribou is something you've really got to be concerned about. So,
Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine. All right. What is your mother's maiden name?
her maiden name was Nabrix.
Nabrix? Oh, that's very exciting. I like that. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town called Colth. Well, outside of the town, really. The village really is not much of a town. Hamlet, even it's very small. But it was called Colth.
Colt. Colt.
Colth.
You just sort of swallow that word, huh? Colt.
Yeah, it's really fun to say, especially if you've been saying it your whole life. It's really fun to introduce it to people to say Colth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. All right. Did you have any siblings?
Nope. Only child.
Did you have a spouse?
No.
Any children?
No.
Who is your current best friend?
Well, Amalite and Child and Rhea and Blythe and Dell. They're my best friends.
But you're only with Rhea. You're with Rhea right now. And Amalite. That's exciting. You're with two of your best friends.
I hope the others are all still alive.
Oh, you can find that out so easy in Records Town as long as you bribe the records keepers to get you the information fast or stand in line for a very long time.
How long is a long time? I don't want to cut in front of people who have been waiting. It's not very respectful of their time, is it?
No, I guess it really isn't, is it? Well, I mean, what's time anyway? It's a while. The lines are apparently very long. It's most of what the records building is.
Well, I think in that case, then I'd rather not go, Like, I think I'd rather just wait. And then if I run into them, then I know they're dead. But if I don't run into them, then they're probably alive.
That's true. That's true. Plus, you'll have to go there anyway for your paperwork, but that's separate lines. It's a lot of different. There's different floors.
It sounds like there's a lot of lines in the afterlife. I'm just
Yeah, it's a lot of waiting around. Anyway, who is the best friend that you've lost?
well,
One can
it's
be a hard one.
confusing. Well, it's confusing because the best friend that I lost, I've got again because Ray is here.
That's so sweet. You lost
And
her
then,
and now she's back with you.
well, it would be sweeter if it wasn't because we were both dead. But I guess
Oh, I'm sorry.
if you remove that from the equation, then I guess it's like a nice reunion. But other than Rhea, I had a raven for a while. His name was Round.
That's so not. That's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's nice, but you're right.
He
You are
didn't
dead,
die.
and that is not very nice.
He didn't
He
die.
didn't
I
die.
died. He didn't die. He just left. He just flew away one day, and he didn't want to hang out, I guess, anymore. I don't really know how ravens decide whether or not they're like hanging out with people, but one day he flew away. So,
I'm sorry.
are there ravens here?
Yeah. There's pretty much anything you could think of is gonna be here.
Huh. I wonder if he'll find me when he dies. Well, I mean, again, he did leave, so I don't know if he would want to find me, but I think it would be interesting, if I'm like walking down a street one day and there's Round,
That would be pretty cool.
like that'd be wow.
Yeah. Hey, what if? All right, I read this in the book once. Okay, what if you learn how to speak with animals, and then you ask all of the crows and ravens if they know about Ron, and then they lead you back to your animal friend, and it's a wonderful reunion, and he's like, Laiika, oh, I never meant to leave you. I was just going out to the store. And then I got kidnapped by highwaymen. It would be crazy.
I
But
like the first I'm following the first part of that, but I don't think a raven needs to go to a store, Mr. Dirt. I appreciate the
I mean,
thought
it's
though.
a fantastical tale. What are your three best traits?
Well, I'm quite tall, so I can reach a lot of things on high shelves. And I'm very strong. I can lift a lot of heavy things. And I'm good with animals. I can't talk to them. Well, I mean, I can talk to them, but it's not the same language.
Right,
But I'm pretty good with animals.
that's very good. What are your three worst traits?
Well, I haven't had a lot of experience like out in the world, so I'm really naive.
Mm,
And my aunt and uncle always said I would talk too much, and that's it's definitely true. I do sort of tend to get on like tangents and then just keep going. I'm pretty chatty as a person. Um, I've never met a story I didn't want to tell to everyone.
mhm.
And then the third trait, I'm a bit of a fool a lot of the time. I make decisions without really thinking them through. And a lot of the time they're in hindsight not very good ones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all
Well,
right. I've been like this my whole life, so I've gotten pretty used to like dealing with the repercussions.
okay. Well, that's something. That's good. To know yourself and how to work with yourself. That's very good knowledge to have.
Sorry, I just was thinking about the phrase my whole life because that is now like a finite amount of time that has passed.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, now I have to think about how I'm going to be my whole death.
Yeah, right. But you could get new life. We're doing this for new life, right? So it's
Oh, right. But when I get new life,
uh-huh.
will I still be able to say it like that? Will it be like my new life? I've been like this my whole life.
Oh,
My whole lives. It's just a bit confusing when you think about it.
yeah.
Really
Well,
changes like common cadence, like when you're speaking to another person and be like, oh, I've never seen that in my life. Like then you have to go back and say, or my other life.
I don't know how much you remember about AfterWorld when you get back, like with new life. Like I don't know how much if you remember you've died or not. I'm not sure when you come back. So maybe you won't even know it's a different life than the life you had.
I guess that's comforting in terms of like, you know, diction, but it is definitely not super comforting. I don't like the idea of forgetting an experience that I've had.
Oh,
Ugh, I hope something like that
Well,
never happens to me. I don't think I'd deal with it very well.
um, should we do more questions instead?
It's your show, Mr. Dirt. I'm whatever you like.
It's my show. Well, I guess it is because we are recording. All right, all right. Have you ever heard of Param themselves? Elaborate if you may.
Well, I mean, I've heard of Param the planet because I lived on it. But no, Param themselves, I just heard of from that Dragonborn earlier who introduced us.
Matilda? Yeah, Matilda. She says a lot by saying so little.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say.
All right. Well, what was your greatest fear when you were 6 versus just before you died?
When I was 6, I was scared of the sun because it would melt the ice. And one of the boys in the village told me that because I had blue eyes, that meant I was made of ice on the inside too. And so I thought when the sun came out in the summer that it was going to melt me also.
That is so mean,
Oh
but
no, it was all
also
right. We were
very
just we were
cute.
just barons. He was just messing with me. I mean, I learned pretty fast that the sun's not going to melt me.
Right, 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 right.
It was pretty funny. My aunt and uncle thought it was pretty funny. That whole summer, I was just terrified to go outside. I'd try and hide behind a reindeer to stay in the shadow when we were out in the fields.
Oh, that's really cute.
It was, in retrospect, it was pretty charming.
That's pretty charming, all right.
Yeah.
So, what was your greatest fear just before you died?
Fire.
All right. Fire also melts ice.
It
So,
melts a lot of things, I found.
oh, right. Well, if you could choose one thing to change about humanoids as a whole, what would it be and why?
I wouldn't. I don't want to change anything.
Really?
Everyone's too different. A universal change that you put in place would affect just as many beings poorly as it would well.
Hmm,
I don't think it's fair.
interesting. I've never really thought about that. Most people who say like I wouldn't change anything are saying that because people are easier to manipulate if they're unchanged.
Why
But I've
would you
not
want to
heard that answer.
why would you want to manipulate everyone? That's a lot of people.
Well, like they don't want to change people because they know how people work, like humanoids in general. They know what
Uh,
drives them and how they work, and so it's easier to manipulate what you already know
Anyone who
versus
says that
changing.
hasn't met enough people. They're all too different.
All right, all right.
It's not fair
All
of
right.
me to say because I've only met like, probably 300 max, but still,
That's still pretty good. That's a pretty good swath.
I don't think it is like grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bad judge because it is literally my job to meet people and get them to their memory trial. So I've met a lot of people.
You've probably met millions.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, when you compare that to 300, it's not very impressive.
Well, when you compare a small rock to a boulder, they're very different. They have different uses and purposes and
Oh, yeah, I don't feel bad about not knowing many people.
oh, okay. Oh, all right then. All
No, I
right.
mean, it is what it is, what I wanted to do when I was alive, when after my aunt and uncle died and the farm was burned, I was going to go out and meet everyone and see the whole world and learn everything. But
Uh,
didn't last super long. So I'm hoping I get to at least meet a lot of new interesting people while I'm here. And then when I go back, I'll have lots more time and lots more folks to meet. and
Yeah,
things to see and experiences to have. It'll be good.
it'll be wonderful. It'll be wonderful. All right, let's go on with these questions then so we can get you to new life. All right, next question. Did your father love you?
I don't know. He died before I was born. I don't know if he even, I don't know if he knew me.
Oh, well, that's
My
very
uncle, though, my uncle who raised me, he loved me very much.
perfect. That's wonderful. That's wonderful to be loved. Next question. It's a little bit of a doozy. Do you believe your perceived identity is your actual identity? And I think what they mean by this is, are your memories your own, or could you be under the effects of a curse?
No, they're my own.
Wonderful. Are you pretending to be someone you're not?
No.
All right, final question. Cause of death.
Fire, I guess.
All right. Do you want to elaborate on that at all, or just put fire, I guess?
Well, I don't really know if it was, smoke inhalation that took me out in the end, or if it was, like the heat, or if it was it being crushed. So I just sort of chalk it up to fire as like an overall thing. It's easier to put a finger on.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. All right. Well, that's it for the official questions. And then I have something I like to ask people because I've never been alive and on Perim. Would you mind?
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. All right. What was your favorite thing about being alive on Perim?
I liked when caravans would come into town. My aunt and uncle would take me in when I was little. Then when I was older, I got to go in by myself, and we'd go in and see all of the different things they brought from all of the different places, and just to see what people made in other places and what they thought was interesting enough to send away to have someone else see them and experience them. I really liked that.
Have you ever experienced true love? Or
Uh,
what do you think would make you feel it?
well, I feel true love all the time when I'm with my friends.
Are you in love with one of your friends? Is it
No,
Aberlight or Raya?
no, I feel love for my friends, all of my friends, and my family, and all the people that I meet.
Oh, okay. You're a subscriber that true love does not need to be romantic. All right. I like that method.
Love is everywhere, Mr. Dirt. It's what keeps us going. I don't understand. I don't understand how people don't love the people they spend time with.
Do you think love is the most powerful thing in the world since it keeps people going? Hmm. I think you might be right about that.
I know I am.
I think. Well, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Never mind. Let's go with the best gift you've ever received. Mine's my gold pen, which you used earlier.
It's a really nice pen.
It's very good.
My best gift was when I turned 18. The the man that I trained with, who taught me how to use magic and harness the energies around me,
Mhm.
Master Zook, he gave me my father's sword, which he'd been keeping for me from my father for my whole life. And when I turned 18, he said I was ready, and he gave it to me.
Wow.
I don't really know where he got it, where my dad got it, but I think it's really nice. I think it's the prettiest sword I've ever seen. I haven't seen many swords,
That
but
is beautiful.
I think this is the best one that I've seen.
That's amazing. That truly is amazing. Well, that's all the questions that I have. So we can wrap this up and you can get on with the memory trials and go back to your friends if you want.
Right, right. The memory trials. Oof.
Yeah, it sounds like yours is going to be pretty difficult.
I hope not,
Me too. Me too.
but I don't have a good feeling about that. So
Oh
we'll
dear.
see, I guess.
We will.
But I have my friends with me and I have your support too, Mr. Dirt.
Yes, you do. You've got my
If I
support.
get nervous or if I get scared, I can just think about that
Yes, that's right.
and I'll be able to pull through.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I'm going to stop this recording.